Hi YouTubers, I've been away quite a while. I bought a camera and it wouldn't work. I've been to my mother's. I tried to live there and she's almost 90 and that didn't work out very well. I'm afraid she has some kind of one of the brain diseases that afflict a lot of older people, and I had to leave. I'm back in San Antonio, Texas in time for the Spurs basketball team to win the national title. Go Spurs, go! And let me see. I wanted to tell you that I discovered a wonderful YouTuber that I want to encourage everybody to look at. I think her name is Braveheart. You can go to my subscriptions and find her, and you will like her. And I wrote about her in my journal, which is deardiary.net, and I go under the name of Damselita, Damselita. But what I really wanted to talk about is a person that I met while I was at my mother's, and we'll call her Patty. It's not her real name, but I'm going to call her that. And I want to tell you her story because it's an inspiration and it's a warning too. She is a real deep Christian, and I don't mean something phony that's just, a theological thing. She has love in her heart. She is a lover of human beings, dogs, animals, all kinds of things. And I think she's the only person that's ever asked me, the only woman that's ever asked me, do you want to go fishing? At any rate, she had a boyfriend all the way through school. When they graduated, they married and had 2 boys and a girl. And they were the kind of family that liked to go out camping, fishing, that kind of thing. And so one time when the boys were older and her daughter was just a little bit younger, they were in the upper teens, they decided to go camping. The only problem was she was working and her husband got off Friday. So she worked at a school, and the husband wouldn't wait for her, and she wanted him to. But he insisted that he was going to take the boys up first and she could come and meet him with her daughter, their daughter. So he called her right before he left, and he said, Patty, I really love you, I want to tell you that. Well, she was miffed, she was mad. So she just hung up the phone and she didn't say, I love you. And that's the warning in the story, as you will see. So that night, as the boys and her husband were fellowshipping around the campfire, and they had fires going, and they were cooking and that kind of thing, the husband got tired and he said, you know what, I'm going to go to bed, I'm going to go into my tent. And he told the older boy, be sure you put out that fire. And I guess it was in one of those kettles that you can make a fire in and hang it on a tree or whatever. So the boys sat up and talked and had a good time, and naturally the older boy forgot to put out the fire. And about 3 o'clock in the morning, they heard screams, and his tent was on fire. Her husband's tent was on fire. He burned to death that night, and she never saw him again. And she just kicked herself, a million times, and wanted to die over the fact that she didn't say, I love you. What was it really in her heart? And so, about a year later, that son that forgot to put out the fire was so guilt-ridden, and he just couldn't take it anymore. He took his own life. He committed suicide. And this woman was such a deep Christian. She got a really good insurance settlement, and she would just go to work, go home, take her antidepressant, go to bed. So after about a year of that, her friend said, you know what, this is bad, and I'm going to insist that you go to a club with me tonight. And at that club, she met a man whom she later married, and it turned out he was a womanizer, a gambler, a drunk. He was violent, and so she lived that way for a lot of years. And so one morning she got up, and he had a habit of tormenting her, and he left a lady's phone number and her name on the dresser, and she said, that's it. I'm getting a signal from my son here, the director, that we'll continue this in part 2. So I'm going to continue it. But she did decide to divorce this man, and I'll tell you more.